Welcome back to the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg. So, Jay, this is an interesting topic here, Terence. Bud Crawford recently took to his social media to make a statement. And it basically implies something that I thought was pretty interesting. And so I want to talk about it because there's so many people that have so many different views on how this fight could play out. I just love to talk about it and hear other folks talk about it. But before we jump into this video, I would like to invite you all to our Discord, the AM Sports Media Discord, where we talk boxing from sunup to sundown. And we have features like our own AI bot that you can ask boxing related questions. So it's a joyous time when you're in the Discord. It's competitive, but I would tell you everybody in there enjoys it. So make sure you check it out. And then also make sure you check us out 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday where we go live and we have call-ins and we have live panels. Now, Jay, let's jump into it. So Terence Crawford was on, I guess, a fishing trip with Jazz Prince. Shout out to Jazz Prince, the guy that discovered Drake. And apparently they were getting ready to go out there and go fishing. And Terence Crawford stated something to the effect of, I've already caught the biggest fish in Texas, implying that, Errol Spence was the big fish, of course. And then he mentioned that they will all get caught at some point, right? Basically talking about Canelo Alvarez being the big fish and essentially saying he's going to do the same thing to Canelo Alvarez that he did to Errol Spence. Now, I'm paraphrasing this. I don't have the video clip up, but I thought it was an interesting comment, Jay, that I wanted to discuss. Is it possible that Terence Crawford can do what he did to Errol Spence to Canelo Alvarez? Now, we've heard a number of different people weigh in on it. I mean, we've heard boxers weigh in on it. We've heard trainers weigh in on it. The people that tend to pick Terence Crawford, they always cite the skill level, or they'll cite he's an extraordinary fighter, something to that effect. Crawford is, in my opinion, the more skilled fighter. I think we've already conceded that on multiple occasions, no matter how much people try to throw misinformation out there. We've conceded that Terence Crawford is the more skilled fighter. I think the challenge for me has always been the size discrepancy, and not just the size discrepancy, but also the fact that Canelo Alvarez is someone who I also deem to be highly skilled. That has always been my issue. I think Terence Crawford, personally, I think it's going to be surprising for Terence Crawford once he gets into the ring with Canelo Alvarez. You know, Floyd used to make the statement that it looks easier on the outside than what it is once you get inside the ring. And there's been a few opponents that have made that same comment about Canelo Alvarez in recent fights in regards to how he looks outside of the ring versus inside of the ring. And we saw what he did to Mel. And I'm not saying that Mel is on Terence Crawford's level, but I just think it's different when you get in the ring with the guy. So he's implying, he seems very confident. He's implying that he's going to be able to do something similar to what he did to Errol. What are your thoughts on that, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, he's supposed to be confident. He's supposed to be, if you're lacking confidence, then boxing ain't the thing. Competitive sports ain't your thing. I hate when people try to compare Spence to Canelo because they're not the same. They're not the same. And to be clear, we never wanted, if Spence had won, we'll be saying the same thing. We wouldn't want Spence to fight Canelo. We didn't want that fight back then before Spence and Bud fought. Also, I'm not a Canelo fan, but we got to keep it real. Canelo has a very high boxing IQ. He's a damn good fighter. You got to give him that credit. He's been fighting at 168 and 175, and he's a big guy for 168, even for that, even though he's 5'8". You know, him and Bud may be around the same height and everything, but he's been cracking at that weight for a long time. Bud's never been there before. We saw how Bud looked against Majimov. He wasn't rocking Majimov all over the ring or anything like that. And people say, oh, the herky jerky. Bud had 40 fights. Majimov had 11. He should have known. He should have figured out how to handle that. But I've also said that Bud is more skilled. Now, Bud was 168 naturally and been fighting there for a while. I would favor Bud in this fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Skill, Bud is better than Canelo. The difference is Bud is basically coming up 3 weight classes: 147, 154, and now 154 to 168. One fight at 154. There's levels to that. The weight classes are there for a reason. if Canelo wasn't as good as is, then I'll say yeah, Bud could do it at 168. He could bang with some of the other fighters at 168 possibly. Not David Benavidez though, and he won't do that, and y'all know why. Uh, but nah, I don't think this ain't gonna be no easy chore. You know, Canelo ain't Spence. Canelo uses head movement. Canelo's a pound puncher. Canelo has been in the ring for the longest, forever and a day. So this is not the same as catching Spence. You know, and even when he fought Spence, we never said he was automatically gonna lose. He didn't have a chance to win. We said it was a close fight. This fight here, we'll talk about that when we get close to the fight time as far as prediction, anything like that. But yeah, he's gonna need a bigger boat, as they said in Jaws, to catch Canelo.
Yeah, I just want to see how things play out, man. You know, I don't like to really make a prediction until I see two fighters standing across from each other after a weigh-in, because I like to see the measurables. I like to see how they weigh, how they look at the scale. I like to see, if one fighter looks like they're bigger, if the other fighter looks like he could potentially be drained. Just looking at Crawford recently, his face looks kind of, filled out a little bit. So it makes me think that he's probably walking around at a heavier weight, trying to acclimate himself to the weight. I don't think that's a bad idea. His walk around weight, they say, is like 170 or so. I think he recently weighed himself. He was like 180. There's definitely a difference between fighting at 170, 80 pounds versus fighting at maybe, you fighting at welterweight and you rehydrating maybe to 160. It's different, right? And even if he rehydrates to 170, Canelo's probably rehydrating to like 180, 190, 185, 190. So all those things are going to be different. And, should Terence Crawford go in? If it were me, I would go into the ring basically what I would normally rehydrate to on fight night. That's what I would try. I wouldn't try to be a full-fledged. I may come just slightly over 160 pounds, and that's what I'm going to rock with. Just because he has aging legs and with incremental weight, I just think it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So we'll see. I'm curious to see what other people have to say about it. But any closing thoughts on that?
He's Super Bud. He can do anything.
That's true. Superbud can do anything, any and all things. I think Terence Crawford is definitely a great talent. I don't think anyone ever has taken that away from him. He's a really good fighter. So we'll see. We'll see what happens when he's in there with another really good fighter. You guys let us know what you think in the comment section in regards to this. Can Terence Crawford do something similar to what we saw against Errol Spence? Be dominant in the ring? I know there are many people that feel that he has the capability to do that. Or will size play a bigger role than what most people think it will play? Or at least those who support Terence Crawford. Let us know what you think. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media, and we are out.